So what is the purpose of your business? Why are you starting this business? Is it just to make money? Is it just to buy a house, a car, clothes, shoes? What is it? Why is it that you're starting the business? If it's just for money and material gain, it is not going to last. It will not. Let me say this. You can have it and it can last a long time, but you will work hard for it. What's up, fam? Welcome back to Absolute is Yours, where I empower Christian entrepreneur women who still work a 9-to-5, navigating it through faith. So now that you've gotten your business license, you have your insurance, you have your EIN number, you have all the legal things to get your business up and running. Now we're going to talk about what's actually going to sustain you in the business, not those things. That is why when you see someone start a business, a lot of times within a year or so, they're out of business because people think because they went and got a business license, a EIN number, a building, got supplies, that now they're in business. The business sustains by this. This thing right here is the most powerful tool that you have. It is all in how you delegate and handle your mind. In 1 Timothy chapter 6, verses 17 through 19, it says,
"Command those who are rich in this present world not to be arrogant, nor put their hope in wealth, which is so uncertain, but to put their hope in God, who richly provides us with everything for our enjoyment. Command them to do good, to be rich in good deeds, and to be generous and willing to share. In this way, they will lay up treasure for themselves as a firm foundation for the coming age, so that they may take hold of the life that is truly life."
There is nothing, absolutely nothing wrong with financial gain. But when it becomes the core of who you are, then that becomes the problem. Because now we put our trust in the money, right? Money comes and goes. It comes and goes, comes and goes. It is not consistent. But the one who is consistent is God. Ask me how I know. Ask me how I know. Because I've been there, done it. I did it. I did it. I did it. When I started my business years ago, I was always reading my word. I was studying my word. I was going to church. I was doing all the things, right? Because I have nothing too much to, make me distracted. But what happened was I became so successful in my business, making good money. I got very distracted. The money, not that I knew I was doing this, I wasn't doing it on purpose. I wasn't idolizing the money on purpose. I wasn't making the money my God, but I did. Because now I started saying, oh, I don't have time to go to church. Oh, I don't have time for Bible study. Oh, let me just say a quick prayer and I'm going to go to bed because I got to get right back up and finish working. The business was an idol. It had become an idol. So I want to say that more importantly than anything else, other than, getting all the legal things together. But you have got to make sure that the business does not become your God. So the purpose of the business has to be greater than yourself. It has to be greater than just making money. So is it for your family, to build a home for your family? Is it to give back to your community? Is it to be able to, give other people jobs, to employ them so that they can take care of their family? You have to know your why. That's the first thing you must know. Number one, if we're going to name a number of these, this is number one. You have to know the purpose and the reason for your business. Me on this recording, the purpose and the reason for this channel is because I wish someone had told me these things that I am telling you. No one told me anything. I was taught very well how to work, how to hustle, how to make money. I can do that. I'm good at it. But I had to learn that it is not the, end all be all, right? I had to learn you must focus your mind and keep your mind on the Lord. He provides any and everything that we need. He can give it to you and he can take it away. When you start making other things your God, I'm like, oh my goodness. Mistakes that I've made in my business that I could have avoided, losing a lot of money. I am telling you, I lost my houses, my cars. I did all of it. Lost it. Thank you, Jesus, for giving me the strength and the information and the knowledge to rebuild it. That is the one thing about learning, anything. Once you have the information, no one can go in your brain and take it out, right? So now I know, okay, if I did it before, I can do it again. But this time I'm going to do it the right way through Christ Jesus. I am going to let him lead me, and I'm going to let him guide me in all the ways. I still know all the technical things, but I have to keep myself centered and I have to keep myself focused. And I had to also learn to build boundaries, right? Because you can get to a place where you're making so much money and you're that person that everybody's asking for money and you feel like, oh my gosh, I have got to give it to them, because why would I not? I mean, I got it. I got more money coming in, my family coming up. It's like, oh yeah, no, if they asking you, they can't give it back to you, Patrice. Okay, don't worry about it. I ain't know about it. I know now. But you have to have your why. You need to sit down and write out, what is it that God wants you to do with this business? How does it serve him? How does it serve his kingdom? How does it serve his people, right? He is greater than yourself. You can never think that it's about you, but at the same time, always think it is about you, right? We don't want to be conceited. We don't want to be nasty or any of those things, but God gave you those thoughts, right? He gave you the idea to start this business for a reason. You have to consult with him and saying, hey, this is what I say. Lord, the moment I get here, bring me back. Okay. Bring me back to reality. Do not let me get the big head. Do not let me get outside of myself. Do not let me think I'm greater than you. Right. So you have to consult with the Lord in all things, even in your business. They say that what was it? Church and state are separate. They are not. God is everything. God is universal. He is everything. There is no government without God. God, if you read the Bible, it is a government within itself, right? So everything that's good comes from the Lord. So there is no separating yourself from your business and your family. You are one person. Everything that affects your family affects your business. And it just goes back and forth. So this is why it's so important that you have to keep God first in your life. So you have to know your why. What is the purpose outside of yourself? I'm not saying don't get the house, don't get the car, don't get the money, don't take the vacations, don't do all the luxury things. Yeah, you still do them. Even David, all the, kings in the Bible, they lived like what? They were kings, right? But at the same time, they were honorable men and women unto God. So that's what I'm saying. Yes, you can still have those things, but at the same time, make the main thing, which is God, right? Because when I was a little girl, I used to say, watch TV. I would see all these famous people on TV with all this money and everything. And I'm like, why are they killing themselves? Why are they sad? Why are they depressed? Why are they doing drugs? Why are they lonely? Because money isn't everything. It is not. Because if it were, those people wouldn't be sad. They wouldn't be depressed. They would be able to, pay off and pay off. Like if I could have a problem and pay the problem to go away, then I would pay for the problem to go away. Now, some situations you can take the money and make a problem go away, but internally, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, you cannot. So the next thing is you need to have a business plan. This needs to be the very first thing that you do with your business outside of getting your mind right, getting it together. Because if you don't have a business plan, you don't know where you're going, right? You have to have a plan of action to take in order to get to where you're going to accomplish the goal. Do I want to open up one restaurant, or do I want to have a chain of restaurants? Do I just want to have one employee, or do I want to have 50 employees? Like, you have to have a business plan. Do I want to run a business that I start with just the money out of my pocket, or am I looking for investors? How am I going to run the business? Where am I going to put the business? I need to have those things together. And the business plan doesn't have to be this long, drawn out thing. I mean, the guys at Home Depot who started Home Depot started their business plan on the back of a napkin. It is just that simple. When, where, and how. That is the business plan. When, where, and how. Because if you do not plan to succeed, you have already planned to fail. So not having a business plan is like driving from the East Coast to the West Coast without a map or a GPS. You're going to get lost. You have no direction. You need to know where you're going. And having a business plan, it also allows the ability to get your goals and things on track, to track the progress of where you're going. The business plan also is important for attracting investors so that they can determine, if they want to do business with you or not. The next thing is You need to make sure that no matter which business you start, that business solves a problem. It has to be able to solve a problem. To open up a business and it doesn't serve your community or it doesn't serve the public as to what they need, it doesn't matter how you feel about it. Like, I love making this or I love designing that. If it doesn't solve a problem, you're just doing a hobby. That's really what it is. It is a hobby. So you want to make sure that your business, like I said, serves a problem. You have, even if you have a passion, right? Say your passion is baking cakes. How does my business, my passion of baking cakes solve a problem? It solves a problem for a person like me, okay? I don't necessarily enjoy baking cakes. I can, but I'm not going to sit there and bake them for every little occasion that I have. I host different events. So when I host these events, I need somebody to be able to make me some cupcakes, to make some other desserts for my guests. I am not going to take the time to do that. It takes too much energy and effort to, host an event as it is. So that is how you're able to solve a problem. If you are a designer, say, for example, you like to design shoes. Well, make sure that the shoe that you're designing helps somebody who has bunions. I'm just throwing out some examples out there. I don't know what your profession is and what you like to do, but you want to make sure that it solves a problem. Sidebar. Just because it is your passion and you enjoy doing it doesn't necessarily mean that it is a business for you, right? If you're not going to be able to do it without getting paid, like this is a thing that you enjoy so much that you would do it without getting paid and it's your passion, don't do it, right? Everyone's passion does not make them money. So for example, if you are a person that loves, they love to cook, they love to stay in the kitchen. And if you've been watching my channel long enough, you know me by now. I don't like it. No, I'm going to clean up. That's what I'm going to go do. I'll clean all day, every day before I stand in that kitchen and cook. You may catch me. This is the thing, right? Solving the problem. For a person like me, I know how to cook, right? I'm the oldest of 8 children. Of course I know how to cook and feed myself. I'm a mother. I know how to do it. But do I enjoy it? No. Do I find any kind of joy in it? I don't. So for me, solving the problem is somebody who can cook meals that I like to eat. Yes, there are other services available where people have meals that you can order online. But at the same time, those meals are like, how long have they been sitting there? How fresh is it? Are you local? Like, can you go locally and pick your fruits and your vegetables? Can you cook those meals within a day or two and deliver it to your customer? Like, you have to know, like, I am solving a problem for my customer. So now that you know your why you're doing your business, and you have identified a business that can solve a problem, the next thing to realize is that you're not the only one with a solution. Okay, there are several people who are cooks who love to cook. There are several people who are mechanics who love to be mechanics. There are other people who have the same skills that you have that can solve the same problem. The difference is you are so unique. Why? Because God made you that way. Excuse me. Yes, that's you. I'm talking. Yeah. Yes, I'm talking to you. God made you uniquely the way that you are. That is what's going to set you apart from everybody else. You have been set apart. In Deuteronomy 14:2, it says, "For you are a holy people for the Lord your God. The Lord has chosen you to be a people for himself, a special treasure above all the peoples who are on the face of the earth." God chose you for himself, for his purpose, right? God doesn't put us here on earth to serve ourselves. He doesn't put us here on this earth for ourselves. We are all here to serve a purpose, and the purpose is greater than ourselves, right? God has uniquely made you. So that is what's one. That's the first thing that's going to set you apart from everybody else, right? So you have to know, what your gifts are. What are your ideas? What are your abilities? What is your extra value? What's the value that you're bringing to your customer? Now, God has allowed you to have these, ideas and things like that, but allow him to work in you and through you, not you through yourself, right? So I want you to be able to say to yourself, oh, like when you go out, right, and you see something or you're somewhere doing something, you're like, oh, if I had that business, or if I were doing that, I would do it this way, or I would change that. I would make it like this. I would add that to it, or I would take this away from it. That is the thing that's going to make you so different from everyone else. So let's go back to being a person that makes cakes, right? Or even a person that cooks meals. Like I said, yes, there are a lot of services online where I could order meals to have them delivered to my house. But how long ago were they made, right? Where are they coming from? They got to be shipped, you know? Is the food even fresh? You know what I mean? Do they support local vendors in their area? Do they support the local farmers in their area? Can I call them at the last minute and saying, hey, I ran out of food. I need food for 2, 3, 4 days or for the next week. Can they deliver to me within a day or two? Those are the little things that's going to be able to set you apart. So you have to look at your competition, not to compare yourself, but to look at it and saying, okay, they do this like this. I would do that like that. They do that like that, but I would do this like this. So you have to look at your competition to see what is it going, that's different about you and what you would do that would set you apart from them. A few things, for example, like, do you offer vegan cakes? Do you have last minute order services? Do you deliver? Do you offer shipping, free shipping? What is it about your business that's going to set you apart? Okay. So the next thing is, how much is this business going to cost me? You need to know how much it's going to cost you outside of, getting the license and insurance and all those things. You can't start a business without knowing what the cost is going to be. It may, because sometimes it takes a minute to turn a profit, right? So you need to be able to make sure that you can sustain your business, even if you don't turn a profit within a year, 2, 3, 4 years. You have enough money coming in to sustain the business itself. But for you to make a profit may take a few minutes for you to get, some money in your pocket. Now, that does not mean not to start your business because you don't know how much everything costs, right? But you need to know the basics of things and what they cost. It does not mean don't start your business because you can't take a profit immediately. No, you continue to work your 9 to 5. That's what this channel is all about for Christian entrepreneurial women who are entrepreneurs but still work a 9 to 5. Whether you choose to leave corporate America or not, still being able to do that. And that's what I did. In the beginning, I had to continue to work my 9 to 5 in order to finance my business. Just because you don't have all the money to get started does not mean that you don't start your business. So, for example, this is what made me step out on faith and start my business. Like I said, my background is in banking and finance. So I was working at the bank. I was what do you call dual? I forget what you call it. You work the customer service side and the teller side. And this particular day, the building that I worked in was right downtown on Peachtree. And most corporate buildings, there are other businesses in the building. And we had a lot of different law firms and different things like that in the building. And, people, they rent offices in the building, right? I didn't even know that. I was going to say I was so little. I was so young. I didn't know that. But anyway, this particular young lady used to come into the bank all the time. And she was younger than me. And I don't want to say that. I think she's maybe like a year or two younger than me. And I would see her with this big money all the time. She would come in here, deposit the checks and everything. And then I said to her one day, what do you do? And so she says, I run a dating service. And this is before online dating became a thing. I was like, okay, explain your business to me. So she told me, she hooked up successful people and all these different things. Now, at that time, I thought that you had to go to business school, you had to have a degree, you had to do all these things, in order to run a business, because most of the people that I saw running successful businesses were in corporate America. So I asked her, I was like, that's interesting, because I could tell she was only like a year or two younger than me, and she wasn't working in corporate America and working 9 to 5. I asked her, how did you get your business started? She said she maxed out her credit cards and quit her job and started her business. I said, well, I'm in the wrong business. Huh? What? You did what? Now, what she said to me, it was a little intimidating, because my thought was, well, don't you got to pay those credit cards back? Like, what you mean? But she was willing to step out on faith. Again, that mustard seeds faith, not knowing if the business would be successful or not. Listen, sidebar. Y'all know I'll be having these sidebars. Even if the business is not successful, still do it anyway. Because one, you can always go back and get a job, because you always got the skills to go get a job. Everybody can go get a job. And two, if that business doesn't work, So what? Try it again or start another new business. Don't stop until you reach your goal. And that happens so much with people. They start a business, and because it's not successful, the first business that they started, they quit. The first business I started wasn't successful either. It wasn't successful in the sense of what it was this company, this property management company paid me to go to the courthouse and file evictions. Now, I'm an independent contractor. This is my business. This is what I'm doing. The money was good because they were paying me per case, right? And if I had to do anything extra, they had to pay me extra. I'm not an attorney. I'm not doing anything. I'm actually going as if I am the leasing agent at the company. What made me say the business wasn't successful was because when I got into the courtroom a couple of different times, and I am looking at a mother, single mother, children, she's young, the children are young. She is really trying. Like, you could tell the difference in the ones that's hustling, and you could tell the ones that are like, I am trying my very best. And to evict them, I was like, oh, I can't do that. My heart, my soul, my spirit can't do it. And I had been evicted before in my childhood. Not doing it. So that's why I say it wasn't successful, because I just could not bear to do it. But my point in saying that is that it was my first business as an adult. I had other businesses as a child, but as an adult, it was my first business and I didn't stick with it. I started another business. So just because the first one doesn't work doesn't mean that you won't be successful. It doesn't mean that you're not supposed to be an entrepreneur. It doesn't mean any of that. That just means that just wasn't the right business for you. That's it. Just start another business. That's all. So like I said, when she said that, I was like, okay, so like you got to pay those credit cards back. But I understood it. She was paying them back immediately. Every time she got a new contract with a new client, she took that money, paid her rental office information bill or whatever other expenses she had, and then she took the rest. She paid her living expenses and she paid the credit card. She wasn't necessarily taking a profit. She was just getting, paying enough to get by. But let me tell you this, even if you're paying just enough to get by, it's a whole different feeling. It is your business. This is what you're doing. You own this. You're in control of this. So you may not have the big fancy $500 to $1 million plus home. So what? Who cares? You may not drive a luxury car. So what? Who cares? But you are free. Now you will work. Let me say that. Do not be fooled and think that you're not going to work. You're going to work. But when that wheel get to rolling, that thing is oiled up real good, you are in there. You know what I mean? So it's different. I don't say leave corporate America if that's not what you want to do. But if you're that person that wants to leave, stick in there. Right? So we want to make sure that we're clear in our costs. Now, some people, they may have to take a loan. Now, I'm not for loans. That's not my thing. That's not what I do. But I understand some people may have to. But if you have to, remember this, Romans 13:8-10, it says, don't owe anyone anything with the exception of love to one another. That is a debt which never ends, because the person who loves others has fulfilled the law. The King James Version says to owe no man anything but to love him. And that's what I want. I don't want to owe nobody no money, because y'all know I believe in having a debt-free life. I don't want to owe anyone anything but to love them. Okay. The next thing is market, 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 market your business. No one cares in your family that you're in business that seriously. Okay. It is the world who's going to supply for you your business. The world does not know you are in business until you tell them you are in business, right? We know our friends and our families, they know that we're in business. Sometimes the family and the friends don't know, because some people, I've seen them where they don't tell anyone anything until they blow up. And they're like, I didn't even know you were in business. But that's a good thing for some people. But some people, they need a little bit more support. So make sure you're marketing your business. Now, one of the ways that everyone's marketing is social media, which I think is amazing. I think it is great. But I also believe in marketing person to person, face to face, because when you're in someone's face or they're in your face, you can feel their vibe, you can feel their energy. You're able to have a true conversation with that person, getting to know them, listening to what their needs are and fulfilling those needs. So you need to be marketing your business everywhere you go. That doesn't mean you drown the person with information, but they need to know that you're in business. And if you're in a certain type of business, you need to look, walk, and talk a certain way in order for people to be able to do business with you, right? This is real life happening over here. Okay. I'm just saying, it's real life. Do you know this child just came in here and asked me, where are all the silverware? Are you kidding me? Did you come and ask me where all the silverware is at? Boy, if you don't get in it and wash those dishes and get you a fork. Don't what I got silverware sitting here in the room with me? Is that where it's at? Okay, I come back. Yeah, I know I'll be having them sidebars. I gotta come back. Okay. So like I said, you want to market your business. So if you're online marketing, do know this. This is what I have discovered for myself. When you're marketing your business online, you will market more because you're not making a one-on-one connection with somebody in person. So you have to market more. And that's the reason why when you see commercials on TV and they pay thousands and thousands and millions of dollars, because no one is actually there. You know how many times they have to see it over and over and over and over and over again before they actually purchase the product, right? When a person sees your product in person, they're able to taste your food in person. They're able to try on your perfume, your makeup, your skincare, whatever your business is. When they're able to do it right then and there in person, they're more inclined to buy. But when you're doing it online, I have never seen it in person. I don't really know what it tastes like. I don't know how many commercials I see all the time, and I'll go in the store and look right past that thing. That commercial has not run past my mind. A lot of my purchasing is done by in person, like I've seen it or there's a need for it, right? So just because you're marketing the business online doesn't necessarily mean everyone needs the product. But when you're talking to people, you're listening to that conversation, you're able to pick up on the need and fulfill the need with your service. But if you are a person that markets in person, I want you to be out there networking. I know people don't like to do it anymore. I know people don't like to network. But when I tell you, like, for example, if you're a person that makes cakes or you're a person that does makeup, every bridal show you need to be at, every, event, cooking event you need to be at, every, free wedding that you can go to, any photo shoot, like you need to be where the business is. You go where the business is. You don't just sit back and expect the business to come to you. Just because you put out a flyer or put out an email, you text everybody. Do you know how many people, like I am also in a business with direct sales. So with that, do you know how many people in my family order product from me? I mean, they do, but my customer base are from strangers. It's not from my family. They do order products, I have some that order on a consistent basis, but the majority of my business is from strangers. It's just like Chick-fil-A, right? So even though it started as a family-owned business, the family doesn't sustain the business. Everyone in the family doesn't eat chicken, I'm quite sure, and they can't eat millions and millions of dollars of chicken. And that's also made me think about, with Chick-fil-A, even though they're worldwide, with Chick-fil-A, they're known across the whole U.S. for sure. I know they are. But if you look, you'll see Chick-fil-A at events, basketball games. You'll see them at different expos and things like that because they are putting themselves, some of them they're sponsoring, but at the same time, they're putting themselves in front of public who have never eaten Chick-fil-A before, right? Because the person may ride past the restaurant and see Chick-fil-A all the time, but have no true interest of going to Chick-fil-A. They don't even really know what it is. They know it's chicken, but they have never tasted before. So they're not going to go there. But when Chick-fil-A goes to an expo and they're giving out free chicken, well, let me try the chicken, okay? And then I like the chicken, so the next time I see the Chick-fil-A sign, I am going to buy the chicken. That made me just think about, when you go to the mall, every time you walk in the mall, they're always giving samples out in the food court. Why? Because when we're walking through there, we're looking, we're trying to decide what we want to eat. I don't know if I want this. Do I want a burger? Do I want Chinese food? Do I want Asian, Italian? What is it that I want to eat? But when you give me that sample of chicken, that like orange chicken or General Tso's chicken or whatever, then I'm like, I think I'm gonna eat that. I think that's what I'm going to get, because so many times I've been, where people are giving out samples of food, and I'm like, oh, I've never had that before. I definitely want to try that, and it's good, and I'll go ahead and buy it. So those are your tips for today. Again, if you enjoy content like this and you are starting a business, or you know someone who's starting a business, please like, share, and subscribe, and send them over so we can have conversation. Don't forget to go to my website, which is linked down in the description, for the free PDFs of the information that I'm giving you today. Until the next time, peace.